Welcome to this pedagogy premiere on trauma-informed practice. In this video, we'll explore what is meant by trauma and how this can impact on our children and young people. We'll also consider the 5 key principles of trauma-informed practice and how you can embed these approaches in your setting. Trauma is everyone's business. There are different types of trauma, and many children and young people experience trauma. However, not all children and young people who are exposed to trauma will go on to develop difficulties. Trauma is a widely used term, but in this context refers to an event or series of events or a set of circumstances that's experienced by an individual as physically or emotionally harmful or life-threatening. It's useful to recognise the main types of trauma, but what's most important for us is dealing with the effects and mitigating the potential impact on our children and young people. Type 1 trauma includes single events which can occur very suddenly. Type 2 trauma refers to ongoing, repeated situations over a longer period of time. Vicarious trauma is being exposed to traumatic effects through the trauma of others. Trauma responses can look different at different ages and developmental stages, and can impact on a range of outcomes for children and young people. Our early experiences build brain architecture, and while toxic stress can derail healthy development, positive interactions build strong brains. This table provides a summary of the types of behaviours which may be evident in response to trauma across our settings. In supporting learners to regulate their emotions, we must recognise their window of tolerance, the zone in which individuals respond most effectively. This may be narrowed through adverse or traumatic experiences. We should view all behaviour as communication, being open and curious to the potential hidden need rather than the behaviour itself. Relationships matter, and our daily interactions with learners and their families can make a big difference to outcomes. For more information on the window of tolerance, please see our separate pedagogy premiere. Within a trauma-informed approach, we've begun to shift our thinking to reflect on how we can best understand and support learners and their families. As opposed to asking what's wrong with you, we should now consider what's happened to you and what can we do to support you. Language matters, and the way we discuss children and young people and our professional practice can help to promote respectful and open dialogue. The table demonstrates the difference between a non-trauma informed and a trauma-informed approach. To provide effective support for learners who may have experienced trauma and are exhibiting distress, it's essential to follow the following optimal sequence of engagement. Firstly, focusing on physical safety, helping the child to regulate and calm the stress response. Next, promoting emotional safety, connecting with the child through sensitive attunement. And finally, learning about what happened and how to respond appropriately, supporting the child to reflect on triggers, strong emotions, and positive responses. This follows Bruce Perry's neurosequential model. There are 5 key principles of trauma-informed practice. We'll now look at each in turn, starting with safety. This can be exemplified where all pupils, parents, carers, staff and visitors to the school should feel physically and emotionally safe in all areas of the school, including online spaces, for example Teams, Facebook and Twitter. Common areas should be welcoming and privacy respected. Safety matters because everyone has a right to feel safe. If children and young people don't feel safe, they can't learn. If staff don't feel safe, they can't fulfil their role. Our schools and early learning centres might be the safe place for some of our community. Safety includes authentic warmth, smiling, using open body language, being approachable and showing that you care. Clear communication, being consistent, clear and warm, avoiding triggering language and considering your tone of voice. Check-ins, regularly checking in on others. And no surprises. Where possible, give notice and explanations for changes of staffing or plans to the day. Trust happens when all relationships in the school community are mutually respected and based on trust. Communication should be transparent and all parties should feel heard and valued. Trust matters because trust is vital for secure attachments to form, to build and maintain positive relationships. Everyone needs to know what to expect from each other. We need a network of trust throughout our school and early learning communities. Trust focuses on consistency, being persistent and predictable, and mutually trusting relationships based on professionalism and confidentiality. Choice is exemplified when pupils, parents, carers and staff have a clear understanding about their rights, consider the UNCRC, and have a sense of agency about decisions and choices made about their educational experience. Choice is important because a lack of control or choice can trigger a fear response. Having a choice promotes independence and resilience, and individuals are more likely to strive and thrive. Choice focuses on stepping back and offering choices, being open-minded and non-judgmental, creating a scaffold and being clear. Collaboration happens when pupils, parents, carers and staff work together to make collective decisions about all aspects of school life. Values, school policies, procedures and ethos, for example. Collaboration is important because being involved promotes skill and confidence. A genuine team around the child promotes positive outcomes, and stronger communities and systems can be built together. Collaboration focuses on not being the expert, reaching out and being proactive, breaking down barriers and working together. Finally, empowerment is evident when pupils, parents, carers and staff feel enabled to make active decisions that affect learning and well-being. Pupil voice and parental engagement should be encouraged and acted upon timely. Empowerment is important because it creates an environment of learning together. Every voice and idea can be heard and respected, and it gives everyone the confidence to contribute. Empowerment involves a coaching culture, investing time and effort, and ensuring no one is left behind. All good ideas are celebrated. We'd recommend that you and your colleagues engage with this audit to assess areas of strength and areas for development. For each of the principles, considers what works well, listing positive examples of practice, what needs to improve, who and how will you take this priority forward, what further information and support will you need, and how will you dedicate time to this area of priority. Thank you for engaging with this Pedagogy Premiere.